Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, before we get started, I'd like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rekakadash, and the ones to those great millstone knowledge is truth, and also to the whole elect that scatter abroad. I like to say shalom, and come back here today with another great and powerful lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. So the title of today's lesson is The Elect Few. So I like to say shalom to all our listeners and learn. Hope this will help you today and guide you back in the path of righteousness and back to your true power, which in fact is Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. And I bet who is the elect few, the one that's doing the Lord's will in the highways and the byways, making these videos each and every day, doing the Lord's will, through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. And everybody, the cream of the crop, the first fruit. The Lord is getting ready to return. He's coming back for that great remnant. You know what I'm saying? The elect few. You know what I'm saying? The house of David, the Israel of the Most High. And the Lord is getting ready to return. And everybody, he's getting ready to do a mighty work. And everybody, they will what? You will know them by their fruit, because they will carry the spirit of truth. They will be on one accord. So the title of the day's lesson, once again, is The Elect Few. So we'll get started in the book of St. John, chapter 17. And we'll start up at verse 20. And it reads, "Neither pray I for these alone, but for them also which shall believe on me through their word." Verse 21, that they all may be one, as thou, Father, art in me, and I in thee, that they also may be one in us, that the world may believe that thou hast sent me. So that everybody, they will all be on one accord, one mind, one likewise mind, one doctrine, one spirit. You know what I'm saying? And everybody, they will have the understanding. And everybody, the spirit of truth, which come from what? Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. So that everybody, if it resonates with you, and everybody, you learn it, and also you go out and and you teach it. If the Lord is dealing with you, and not about only the elect few, and not about it will get to this time around, and not about it, it's not, the mystery of the kingdom of heaven is only for what? Elect few, and not about it, we're constantly doing the Lord will each and every day, on one accord, one mind, one doctrine, and not about one understanding, and not about it, we are here, and not about it, you will know them by their by their fruit, and not about it, who I'm telling you, in that day they shall know that a prophet was among them, which in fact is the elect few. So now let's start back up. John chapter 17. We'll start back up one moment. We'll start back up at verse. Verse 22, and it reads, "And the glory which thou gavest me, I have given them, that they may be one, even as we are one." Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, one mind, one doctrine. You know what I'm saying? And everybody, the brotherhood, you know what I'm saying? And everybody, once again, you would know them by their fruit. And everybody, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people are teaching false doctrine. And everybody, it will come to naught. And everybody, they may have a zeal for the Most High, but not what? According to knowledge. And everybody, that you will know them. So now, let's go to, one moment. Let's go to Matthew chapter 7. Just a quick lesson through the Spirit. And I hope that you get edified. Matthew chapter 7, and we'll start up at verse, let's see where I want to start. Let's start up at verse 15. Matthew chapter 7 and verse 15. And it reads, "Beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep clothing, but inwardly they are raven wolves." Verse 16, "Ye shall know them by their fruit. Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs of thistle?" Verse 17, "Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit." So that everybody, you would know them by their fruit. And everybody, that if they have the spirit of truth, and everybody, that things that they are saying is coming to pass, and everybody, they have the spirit of truth, which in fact come from what? Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. A false prophet would tell you things that, lies and deceit. That everything would be all right. The Lord is, right now, he's not going to destroy anyone. You know what I'm saying? He's coming back for everyone. Everyone can be saved. That is a false doctrine. You will know them by their fruit. They will have a corrupt fruit. And everybody, it will come to what? Destruction. And out about the men of the Lord, we constantly sign and cry left and right. And out about we're walking that straight gate. And out of the levels of what? Adversities. And out about the tutor and the false prophet, they do not want to suffer. And out about they're gonna feed you things being idols. And out about that, you will be blinded, scattered in the flock. And out about there we what? They will be totally destroyed. You would know them also by their fruit. So now let's start back up. Matthew chapter 17. We saw like Matthew chapter 7, and we'll start back up at verse 18. And it reads, a good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth a good fruit. Verse 19, every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewed down and cast into the fire. Verse 20, wherefore by their fruit ye shall know them. And out about the elect few, and out about the elect, they cannot bring forth bad fruit. And out about only a false prophet. And out about they're getting ready to be cut down. And out about cast into the what? That lake of fire, which in fact is the second death. And out about we constantly warning you left and right, the elect few. And out about the one that was preordained from the beginning, the firstborn. And out about the Lord is only coming back for that cream of the crop. And out about the Israel of the Most High. And out about it, we constantly warning you left and right. So a lot of people would not get this time right. We understand it. Only what? The elect few. So now let's go to one moment. Let's go to Romans chapter 10 and verse 1. We'll start up there. Romans chapter 10. Just a quick lesson through the Spirit. Romans chapter 10 and verse 1. And it reads, brethren, my heart desire and prayers to the Almighty for Israel is that they might be saved. Verse 2, for I bear them record that they have a zeal of the Most High, but not according to knowledge. So that about a lot of people have that zeal that, that they are very zealous, but that about they don't have the what? That right spirit, that wisdom and knowledge, the right mindset. And that about Lord is only dealing with that 1/3, the one that was chosen for the beginning. And that about it, a lot of us have a zeal for the Lord. Oh, I love the Lord, this and that. But that is about it that, if the Lord is not dealing with you, you going off your own vain glory, then that about it, you will be totally destroyed. So that about it, a lot of people must have a spirit of discernment. And that about the one that have the spirit of discernment is the elect few. So now let's start back up. Romans chapter 10, we'll start back up at we'll read verse 2 once again. For I bear them record that they have a zeal of the Most High, but not according to knowledge. Verse 3, for they being ignorant of the Almighty's righteousness and going about to establish their own righteousness, have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. And everybody, a lot of them have not submitted, have not had that renewing of the mind, because they're still a part of this world. And about the God of this world has blinded them. And about even though they have that zeal, but that they are still in the world. And the one that the elect few, they came out of the world and follow who? Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. They have picked up the cross. And about levels of adversity, trials, a great tribulation are coming upon us, fiery trials, and that about it only would build us up, and that about it, it would bring forth fruit through growth, and believing, and also fearing the Lord, and that about it, it strengthens us each and every day, and it's constantly perfecting us, because we have hope that we knowing that we'll be a part of the hope elect, and we knowing that salvation is very close that we yet believe, and we knowing that the Lord is getting ready to come and deliver us. So rejoice ye heaven. So now let's start back up. Let's go to John chapter 4 and verse 24. Quick precept. Let's go to St. John's, one moment. St. John chapter 4, one moment. St. John chapter 4 and verse 24, one moment. And it reads, God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. And out about that is the elect few. They're worshiping him in spirit and in truth. And that about it, we seeing each and every day that the men of the Lord, they constantly are being made obvious. They becoming manifest. And that about they're standing on their feet, and they stand on fire for Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh, in the highways and the byways, making these videos each and every day, constantly doing the Lord's will, and out about the best of their ability, the portion that the Lord has given them. And out about, if you're a part of the elect back then, you're a part of the elect right now. And out about, you will be delivered. And out about, that is the cream of the crop. That is the apple of the Lord's eyes. And the Lord is coming back for them. He said, I prayed not for the world, but he prayed for what? For the elect few, the one that the Lord had chosen for the beginning. And out about it, man, we're very close. And out about it, only a few will understand this. And that is what? The elect. And out about it, we seeing that we are here. We seeing that a lot of people still cannot get this, because that about the Lord already had it already by design, that who was going to get this and who was not going to get this. So blessed that your eyes can see, and blessed that your ears can hear. And out about it, that is the elect few. So now, and I hope that made sense to y'all. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 12. Just a quick lesson through the Spirit. Hebrews chapter 12. One moment. Hebrews chapter 12. See where I want to start up at. Hebrews chapter 12, and we'll start at start with verse 11. Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 11. Now, no chastising from the present seemeth to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless, afterward it yielded the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby. And that about, even though we're going through our chastisement, but that about we're yielding what? Fruit. And that about it, because the idea about it will be constantly being perfected, through these trials and these levels of adversities, going through that straight gate. And that about it, even though we're being chastised and being punished, and that about it, but that about it, the Lord is is building us up, constantly perfecting us little by little. And that about it, even though we're reciting reciting the righteous acts, but that about it, that we're practicing right now, but that about it, we constantly want to do the Lord's will. And that about that, we're yielding the good fruit of righteousness. And that about it, when we get ready to get in those new bodies, we will perform those acts, in real time. We cannot wait. Immortality, rulership, spiritual power. That's what we long for each and every day. The elect few. We're ready to get out of here, while the rest of them constantly want to be here in this in this wicked kingdom. And that about this wicked kingdom must be destroyed for the kingdom of heaven to come. And that's why he says, in the Lord's Prayer, that the kingdom to come, and that about it's getting ready to come very, very quickly and fast approach. And that about it, even though we've been chastised right now, we're in our Lord's state, but that the Lord, the idea about we're yielding, that peaceful fruit. So let's read that again. Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 11. Now no chastising for the present seem to be joyous, but grievous. Salaki. Nevertheless, afterwards it yielded the peaceful fruit of righteousness unto them which exercise thereby. That is the elect fruit, that peaceful fruit. We're yielding it each and every day. We bringing forth good fruit, fruit of righteousness. And that about that, that's what we bring forth each and every day. And that about we're seeking our salvation. We constantly are doing the Lord's will each and every day. Constantly meditate day and night in this great wisdom. And we fear the Lord. We also magnifying the Lord's name, the elect few. So now let's go to one moment. Let's go to Matthew chapter 7. Get a little bit more edification on that. Matthew chapter 7. And we'll start one moment. Let's start at verse 13. And it reads, Enter ye at the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. Verse 14, because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. And about that few that find it is the elect. And about that straight gate is levels of adversity, great trials and great tribulation. And also, getting tried as gold is tried in fire, being perfected. And also that make you yield peaceful fruit because what we believe and not about. We constantly walking in the path of righteousness. We're not leaning on our own understanding. We are trusting and believing in Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. So let's get another quick precept. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 3. Proverbs chapter 3, one moment. Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 5. Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 5. And it reads, trust in the Lord with all thy heart, and lean not unto thy own understanding. Verse 6, and in all thy ways acknowledge him or confess, and he shall direct thy path. That is the elect few. And not about that. We're not leaning on our own understanding. We're trusting and believing in Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. And not about the spirit of truth. It is not us speaking. It's the spirit of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, the one that sent us, the elect few. So now let's go to one moment. Let's go to Matthew chapter 13. Matthew chapter 13, just going off the spirit, a little tired, but we're going to constantly do the Lord's will. Matthew chapter 13, and let's see what I want to start at. Let's start at verse 11. Matthew chapter 13 and verse 11. He answered and said unto them, because it is given to you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. And about who is not given to? You know, the one that don't have the spirit of truth. You know, the one that was not preordained to get this from the beginning. The one that have a zeal for the Most High, but not according to knowledge. But that is about it. It's only given to the elect few. The one that is preordained. The one that the Lord is getting ready to return for. The one that stayed loyal to the Lord over 2,000 years ago. And that about it. You know, we constantly follow the Lord everywhere he goes. And that about it. He said, my sheep will hear my voice and follow me. That is what the elect few. So we will understand what the Lord word means. It will resonate with us. And that about it, you know, it would match with our spirit. And that about it, you know what I'm saying? You shall know them, you know, by their what? By their fruit. You know what I'm saying? And also the spirit bear witness. Who are the what? The children of the Most High, which in fact, the elect few. And that about it, you know, and that about it, they are constantly standing on their feet. They constantly are being made known. Because the Lord said in Ezekiel chapter 33 and verse 33, they said, in that day they shall know that a prophet was among them. It shall come to pass. It's coming to pass each and every day through the spirit of power of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. So now let's drop down to Matthew chapter 13, and we'll drop down to verse 16. And it reads, but blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. And that is the elect. That is the elect few, which in fact, you know, have spiritual eyes, also have spiritual ears, and out of be able to understanding, hearing the word, and out about constantly doing the work. You know, faith and works work hand in hand. And what? The elect is constantly doing his will each and every day through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. We constantly walking in the path of righteousness. We seeking our righteousness. And out about we ready for this nightmare to be over and get back in our what? Our first estate. And we constantly practicing the righteous acts, and out about we're yielding what? That peaceful fruit, and out about what lead to what? Righteousness, you know, immortality, rulership, spiritual power. That is what we're longing for each and every day, the elect few. So now let's go to one moment. Let's go to 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 4. 1 Peter, one moment. 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 4. One moment. So so wherein they think it's a strange that ye run not Salaki. Hold on one moment. I think I went to the wrong one. It's one moment. 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 4. I'm thinking that's what it is. Might have been 2 Peter. One moment. Let's see. I think it's 2 Peter. One moment. Might have to go to another one. I might have wrote it. Let's see. Let's go to 1 Peter chapter 3. 1 Peter chapter 3. One moment. 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 12. This is what I want right here. 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 12. And it reads, for the Lord's eyes are Salat. 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 12. For the eyes of the Lord are over the righteous, and his ears are open unto their prayers. But the face of the Lord is against them that do evil. And that about his eyes are upon the what? The elect few, the one that was preordained. Once again, the house of David. Verse 13, and who is he that will harm you if ye be followers of that which is good? Verse 14, and if ye suffer for righteousness' sake, happy are ye, and be not afraid of their terror, neither be troubled. And that is the elect, few. And that about is that, we're constantly doing the Lord's will. And that about we don't have a spirit of fear, you know what I'm saying? And that about it, we have a sound mind, you know what I'm saying? One mind, one doctrine, on one accord. And that about it, and we're seeing that, that a lot of people have that zeal or have the understanding, but not according to knowledge. The Lord has not called you, you know what I'm saying? Then you're not a part of it. And that about it, many are called, have been called, but few are chosen. And that about it, going to do the Lord's will each and every day through the spirit and power of Yahweh. I hope I wasn't rambling. So now, let's go to one moment. Let's go to Matthew chapter 22. Matthew chapter 22 and see what verse I want to go to. Verse 14. Matthew chapter 22 and verse 14. One moment. And it reads, we probably close out here. Matthew chapter 22 and verse 14. For many are called, but few are chosen. And that is the elect, the house of David, the one that constantly doing his will each and every day. You know what I'm saying? Through the spirit and the power of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh, constantly prophesy, constantly keeping not silent. You know what I'm saying? And everybody, first they hated him, they also will hate the elect few, the one that's doing his will, and I'm not ashamed, you know what I'm saying? Not ashamed to go out on the highways and by, not ashamed to tell their enemies, what their judgment is, and that about we're not shaking and faking, and that about you would know the true men of the Lord, and that about because they're gonna speak the oracles of the Most High, they will have that spirit of truth, and that about the fruit will bear witness. Who are the children of Israel? That spirit will bear witness also, and that about we are here. It is at the door. So the Lord is only coming back for that 1/3 remnant. So when you go to Zechariah chapter 13 and verses 8 through 9, 2 parts therein will be cut off and die, but the third shall be left. You know what I'm saying? And we will be tried as gold is tried in fire, levels of adversity. But that is about the Lord said, the same that endure, the same shall be saved. So that is what the elect few. So the title of the daily lesson, once again, is the elect few. So I like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakakadash. I like to say, Shalom.